Selection.
It's a pleasure to serve the bar, and I'm really happy that I have won the election, and that also with the support of about more than 800 people, and the biggest victory ever in the district bar association's history.
So what is the new program planning during this years?
The first plan would be that we would have a wonderful relations between bar and the bench, and to start begin with, because it was the initial phase. Today we had an oath ceremony, and in the oath ceremony, for the first time in the history of Jalandhar Bar Association, we had invited all the judges, and all the judges were present, including the session judge, who had come for the oath ceremony. And this was for the first time that all the judges were present at that stage, and I had requested all the judges to start or follow the legal aspect of this thing, that no objection certificate should be taken from an old lawyer who is being superseded by a new lawyer. It means that there were generally many complaints by the junior lawyers to the effect that when the client wants to change a lawyer, they virtually abuse the previous lawyer, or virtually take him names and take the brief away. Once he takes the brief away and then goes to a new lawyer who just gives a wakalatnama, and the case starts again with a new lawyer. Now the problem was that the dignity of that old lawyer was really being lowered. Now it is otherwise also a law that whenever you have to engage a new lawyer, by superseding the first lawyer, you have to take a no objection certificate from the first lawyer. So I have requested the learned session judge today that he should see to it that whenever a new advocate comes, he should come with a no objection certificate from the previous advocate. So this request was made today, which is we would get followed this time for sure. This system is already being followed in the High Court, and very strictly also.
So Jalandhar Bar is very old and lot of problems there, especially chambers.
Chambers is a very big problem. In fact, this is lingering on for last more than 10 years now, and unfortunately the tenure of a president or the presidium or one team is very small to finish off this problem. So I have taken out a way where we would, most probably with the help of my own cabinet, I would try to make a permanent committee for chambers, where we'll have some senior and junior lawyers, a blend of junior and senior lawyers, who would be interacting with the Punjab government, who would be interacting with the High Court for the purpose of construction of chambers. And that committee would continue for at least 5 years, with the president and the secretary as an ex officio members of that committee. And we'll be having permanent members who will be in charge of that committee, who will continue interacting with the High Court and also with the Punjab government to the effect chambers are made. Because these chambers cannot be constructed in 1 year, that's for sure.
So what would the parking problem?
Parking problem, because the best thing at this stage would be that underground parkings or multi-level parkings, because we don't have space. At the most, if we see the space, it is only 4 acres of land, out of which the superstructure has been constructed in between. Now, it is not possible because of the financial constraints that the entire building should be made again, which I feel is a technical flaw. But to come out of that, we need to ultimately go in for a structure which is in fact underground structure, and the first floor also. So we will try to make a multi-story parking for that aspect.
So where is the budget coming?
Budget, obviously, because these parking is a duty of the government and the High Court. Budget is obviously should come from the High Court, because all the structures are being made by the High Court with the association of Punjab government and central government. But with regard to the chambers, because it has been being followed at various other places, that the chambers are being made with a 50% contribution by lawyers and 50% by the government. So we will try to press to that aspect and follow that formula which is being followed in other places.
So Jalandhar is the hub of NRIs, so more than 2 million people in abroad. And which message you want to deliver to around the world?
You see, NRIs are basically the base of this part of the society which has risen due to the help of NRIs. And I would really want that NRIs, just generally because I am having many cases of NRIs with me too, they have a little bit of suspect upon lawyers. Now I would try to uplift that aspect of the suspicion which is there in the mind of NRIs. Because we are working hard, no doubt. We are a part of a system wherein the cases are no doubt delayed, but it is not being delayed personally by the advocates. So I would try to go in for some seminars with your help, of course, because you are one of the best channels around with regard to NRIs, where we can tell them that we are not doing it intentionally. This is a system which we are following. So I'll see to it that at least that faith of NRIs in the legal system is increased during my tenure.
So, what is another thing in your mind during this year?
I would really want, because the biggest problem which is being faced by the lawyers is the lawyers who immediately join the profession, because when they finish their studies, there are high hopes that they will become advocates. But unfortunately, for first 2-3 years, virtually they don't have any income, and we don't have a system of stipend going on right now. So, though this system has to change, but I will initiate this process that at least at the government level or at the bar association level, some small stipend should be started for these young advocates at least for 2 years standing. And then the second aspect is the pension scheme. Unfortunately, we have some young lawyers dying, because lately a young lawyer in the bar association died. He was just 43. And when I went for the funeral, I was really shocked to see that he had a daughter who was in 6th and a son who was in 2nd. We tried our level best. We paid him 1 lakh rupees to the family, which was from our welfare fund. But we don't have those funds to that effect that we can look after them. So what we are planning is a group insurance scheme. Plus we are also planning that the government should at least make up a case of pension for lawyers, whosoever dies during the professional things, plus a person who gives up voluntarily his profession voluntarily by giving an information to the bar council in the state that he is no more practicing. And for that scheme, they can always charge some amount permanently from us per month. From all the advocates, they can always say that we are charging 200 rupees or 300 rupees from every advocate, so that we can initiate a pension scheme later on, like in the PPF scheme. So I would try to initiate that aspect also by passing some resolutions, forwarding it to the Punjab government, forwarding it to the High Court, and giving it to the press also in due time.
So, what about the legal aid system? Which is if you go to Britain or America and Canada, there is a legal aid very strong system. People don't have the money to pay lawyers. So in India, because there is not such a very good human rights
we
record.
have a legal aid system going on, which is being headed by the Punjab government and also by the Honorable High Court. The only problem is that we have specific lawyers who are on the panel of legal aid system. But then there are the specific rules and regulations under which they can claim such legal aid. And no doubt the legal aid is being given. The only aspect which is really alarming at this stage is whether that legal aid is actually being given to them as they should have been given. Now this aspect I would really want, because we don't have any say in that. Bar Council is not having any say in that legal aid system. Only we have a recommending power. Whenever some letter comes to us that recommends some advocates, we recommend them. At least I would feel that the government should make up rules where each bar association people should, president, secretary or the bar council should be taken as nominal members of that association of free legal aid, so that we can also give a help to that system.
In Jalandhar Central Jail, this is the biggest jail in Punjab. It's new modern jail, and there is the 1800 prisoner now. 800 people, they don't have any lawyer. So
No.
what your bar is doing? 800 people without law sitting in. They already.
The problem is that this thing has never come to the notice of the bar association ever, nor it has been brought to anybody before. Because this is basically a system where that free legal aid system is being followed, where a CGM has been sitting by the Honorable High Court, where the session judge is in charge, and as per the rules of High Court, a session judge has to visit the jail every month along with the CGM. Now the position arises when nobody approaches us for such type of help. We will not be in the knowledge, because we are not allowed to go to the central jail to see who is helping, because we don't have a sanction with us. We just are. This association is a private association made by lawyers, no doubt under the statute. But we need some sanction powers, so where the president should be allowed to go and interact with the prisoners to see their problems. Because unfortunately we don't have a sanction, so we cannot do anything to that aspect unless and until some force comes to us and asks for help. Because there is, I've read in these 2-3 days, or even the previous record, there is not even a single letter received from the jail that they need help from lawyers. Because in case they need help, then at least I would promise that I will provide nominal fee advocates, because for the purpose, because advocates are to survive on their profession only. But yes, I can always, if someone approaches us, I would request my colleagues that they should charge very nominally from these people who cannot afford advocates and try to help them. But we need a system where someone should approach us for that.
There is another system in the Britain and America. if somebody arrest anywhere in the city, and the mostly people has a group of lawyers there on the panel on the police. If somebody arrest, they can indicate immediately within 10 minutes because the Geneva Convention Article 38 described to human rights. If somebody arrest and the police immediately give free telephone service to the arrest people.
We have a similar system here. There were special guidelines by the Honorable Supreme Court to this aspect, where the police has to inform on arrest to one of the closest relatives of that person in whom he reposes that accused reposes his confidence. And it is being followed in all the systems. Unfortunately, it is not being very strictly highlighted in India because till date we are in a transition stage. Whatever system is being followed there in Geneva, we are also following the same system. There is, in our technical language, we call it as a further arrest. So further arrest means that immediately when the police arrest someone, they have to inform his relative that he has been arrested in such and such case. And this is being followed by the police. It's a separate issue. Sorry. It's a separate issue that the relatives of that person are not approaching lawyers, because there is no law to this aspect in India that they have no doubt they have a right to approach a lawyer, but they have only to approach the lawyer is not a law. So it is upon the relatives of that person who has been informed that he has been arrested that he should inform a lawyer whom he wants to engage, and we would see to it if someone approaches us that we follow the legal system in the best possible way.
So what do you say people, because this is biggest victory in the Jalandhar bar and people they oppose you. What do you think about? What is your opinion to people not voting you on that time?
See, nobody on this earth would get 100% votes. If I have some admirers, I have some persons who don't like me, or I won't say like me, but they have their own constraints in voting for someone else. And even my contemporary in this case was my teacher. He used to teach me in the law college, and well, unfortunately, I had to fight with my teacher. I had requested him that if you wanted to become a president, you should have informed me before, because I had already filled my papers. He came later on, and otherwise, you cannot accept that the entire world, entire persons vote for me. I really salute, because that shows me that there are some people who don't like my system of working, and I will try to go good on that.
So, Mandeep, what is your personal profile? You were born and brought up in Jalandhar. What is your background? People don't know who is the person, especially living in abroad.
No problem. I'll inform, because my grandfather, in fact, came from Layalpur, Pakistan, after partition. He initially went to Bombay, then came to Solan, and then in 1950, my grandfather settled in Jalandhar. He was a professor in mathematics in Layalpur Khalsa College at Layalpur. Then the Layalpur Khalsa College, Layalpur was shifted to Layalpur Khalsa College, Jalandhar. My grandfather continued with his professorship here. Ultimately became a principal in Layalpur Khalsa College, and as a principal, he served the institution for about 11 years, and the institution became one of the best institutions thereafter. My father is a senior lawyer. He was a leading civil lawyer out here in Punjab. And from the very childhood, though I was always a science student till my BSc, I did my 10th matriculation from St. Joseph's Convent School, Jalandhar. Thereafter, I joined Layalpur Khalsa College, Jalandhar. I did my BSc non-medical. I was a gold medalist in that. I was topper in the university. Thereafter, I got admission in engineering, but because from the very childhood there was this legal background in my house, so I always wanted to become an advocate. I joined my LLB. In LLB also I was a gold medalist. I finished off my law in 93 and became an advocate on 28th April 1993. Thereafter I started my profession under the guidance of my father, who was a leading civil lawyer at that time. But somehow I found that the criminal law was also very interesting. So I started diversifying. No doubt civil law was part of the family. I diversified into criminal law, and with the God's grace, I am now known to be a good criminal lawyer too. Now, I was married in 1999 with my wife, who is Samrita Sachdev. She was a nutritionist. But then thereafter, I have two daughters. My elder daughter Meher was born in 2000. My younger daughter Meera was born in 2006. Both are studying in school. Because there was a legal background in my family, so even after marriage, my wife did her law. She is also a law graduate, now member of District Bar Association and practicing with me. Now, this for the last about 19 years, I'm practicing as a lawyer. I have been appearing not only in the District Court Jalandhar but in the Honorable Punjab Haryana High Court and the Supreme Court also. I am very regular in High Court. I go to the High Court on every Thursday, and in Supreme Court I at least go once a month. So with with this type of exposure, I have been in fact working for last about 19 years, and with God's grace now considered to be a successful lawyer. And I wanted to become and serve the bar. I remained secretary of this bar in 2005-2006, and then unsuccessfully contested last year. But this year, with the God's grace and the affection of my fellow beings, I am the president of District Bar Sirjula.
So, do you think in your mind when you are highly qualified in law and mostly people going to in civil service examination, why you not choose that line?
Because I would be very frank on this aspect, that once I finished once I was a kid, and you know we have a habit in India that everybody would ask you what you want to become when you become old. So I always used to tell I want to become an advocate like my father. So I would really want to pursue my entire goals in this profession. And because with the God's grace at the age of about 38, 39, I had achieved good heights in this profession as long as Jalandhar was concerned. So that is the reason I wanted to diversify and started going out. Now I am considered to be a busy lawyer in High Court. I will not reckon myself to be one of those top lawyers in High Court, but then that is my goal. And then from last year onwards, I started the Supreme Court, and no doubt with lots of goals in my mind, and try to fulfill my missions. So professionally, every profession is one of the best professions. If we have some civil service people working there, then we have doctors also, we have engineers also. So every person has his own individuality. So I always wanted to become a lawyer, and with God's grace, I am comfortable in this profession.
So, what is your message for youngest lawyers, which either recently joined?
Work hard first. Don't follow money. It will come with age. Don't go in for that wrong practice. Follow the legal ethics. You would rise in life. But one thing is very sure. You should be very apt in law and very witty in the court.
Okay, Mandeep, thank you very much to give good information for viewers.
Thank you very much.
Okay, have a good night.